Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Black excellence, black beauty, and black pride. Black power from all diasporas coincide. Progressive truth and regression eventually collide. May the beauty of the people no longer be set aside. May the black queen's grace continually mesmerize the millions who couldn't see it when looking into her eyes. And the black man's plight no longer be the disguise. Oppression, emasculation, they wanna castricize him. Take him away from the black queen, put him inside prison for slave labor, he institutionalized. Wondering on the outside, is she willing to ride? Is she willing to ride? Is she willing to fight for the love, even despite the fact that he doing time? Love that conquers all will never fade with time. If she don't choose the love that appreciates every life, his flame might get dim and he may eventually.
Yo, welcome to the Urban Impact Show.
Yep.
We are excited to be back for another Sunday right here. We're in the studio. I am one of your co-hosts. I am Rob Johnson.
And I am Shekinah Young.
We're super excited to be here with you all. Please share this live feed, share this video with your friends. Shekinah, what are we talking about today?
Well, even before that, for those of you that didn't get a chance to tune in last week, or you're not as familiar with the Urban Impact Show, we are all about you. We're all about the people, and so we need you to interact with us. You can find us, obviously, if you're watching, on the Urban City Magazine Facebook page, but comment, like, all that jazz. Tell us what you think, some other things that you want to talk about. If we can get that into today's show, we'll definitely do that. If not, we will put that in a future show. But we're talking about things that impact the community and how that is impacting you. Last week we had a great time.
Man, listen, let me tell you something. They almost found me some edges last week.
Oh my God. Rob almost got edges last week.
They almost found me some edges.
It was going to be a treat, but we ran out of time. So luckily, we ran out of time on those edges. I was looking for a whole full experience, not just an edges experience.
Somebody gonna put some hair on this.
You know, I would love to see it.
Somebody gonna put some hair
I think
on
we
this.
should do it live on the show.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah,
that would truly be a transformation.
Oh man, how about we just do like the before and after photos?
Before and after.
Yeah, I think the before and after photos may be a little bit better because, you know, I don't want them, you know, watching me go through, you know, getting man weave. But one thing that we really got from last week's show is that the artistry of cosmetology and barbering and the small business and the entrepreneurs is so much more than just the shop. Oh man, it's so much more.
So much, right?
They talked about community, they talked about economics, and they even talked about really like how our show is doing right now, the Urban Impact.
Right. How that impacts those things.
Yes.
Teaching skills, moving money in the economy,
yes.
Mental health, how that affects how people feel about themselves, how they go about their daily lives, all kinds of stuff. And the shop being a place of
the country club.
Right,
like a black man's country club or the black woman's country club. I really liked last week how they were talking about even in moments of weakness.
Yeah.
How they came to the barbershop, and the barbershop places like one of our guests that we're going to be having on this show is going to talk to us just about how he gave opportunities and chances and how it's an open space and people feel safe.
Right.
Real quick, Shekinah, one thing I learned is that psychologists tell us that if somebody feels safe, then they can think of almost 400 different ways to come up with a solution. But if they are in this thing called survival mode,
right,
they can only come up with 4 ways with a solution. Like, think about that. Like, when you feel safe in an environment, whether it be home, the barbershop, the hair salon, like, you can think of ideas. This is probably why some of the greatest conversations take place at the barbershop, because people feel safe, or in the hair salon because people feel safe. And it psychologists talk about that. They talk about being in survival mode versus being in safe mode.
Right.
And I just think that's so eye-opening to me that the barbershop itself not just serves as a place of economy, but also as a place where people feel safe.
I think so too. So that's why we wanted to keep going with that and add a little bit of a wrap up to that. We have 2 very special guests today. Tina Turner, that is her real name.
Be my help.
Tina Turner. helping all of the ladies and some gentlemen out there. And then, and then Robert, Big Rob. I was trying to use his, real name, but everybody knows him as Big Robert Presswood. We're going to talk to them a little bit today and get an inside look. They were two of the key leaders for the event last week.
Yes.
Rob was leading that up, and Tina was helping a lot with the stylist side of things. And so we just want to touch base with them, get you some inside track information from them.
Yes.
It's going to be hot. You don't want to miss that.
Hey, so check this out. So don't go anywhere. Take this time to share this video with your friends. Invite others to watch it. Also, for those of you who would like to sponsor, we are looking for sponsorships. We do have a sponsorship coordinator. We'll be bringing that information to you here pretty soon. But as we take this break, take the time to share this video, and we'll be right back.
Right back.
You're watching The Urban Impact Show. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Johnson.
Shekinah Young. We'll see you soon.
Stay tuned. And we're back. Welcome to the Urban Impact Show, brought to you by the Urban City Magazine. I am one of your co-hosts, Mr. Rob Johnson.
And Miss Shekinah Young.
And we are back, y'all. Listen, just like Shekinah said, the Urban Impact Show, we are designed to really talk about you. Talk about us. Talk about what's happening in our community, what is affecting us. So just like she said, please do not hesitate to give us feedback and talk about issues and things that are going on. If we can't get them in shows like today, we would definitely write them down so that we can get them in other shows. But we have some special guests, right, Shekinah?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, let's just give it up for them. We got two champions. I mean, titans. Excuse me. Titans. We got two titans in the building today, especially right here, and not just even in the Des Moines community, Shekinah, but really, I mean, they was talking about Big Rob in New York and Chicago. They was talking about Tina in Atlanta and Houston.
Right.
I mean, man, like we got some prolific people in the building.
Even like unsung hero moments.
Yes.
Right? I've heard lots of stories.
Yes.
About Big Rob and Tina, where they come through when people need them.
Yes.
Even in ways that sometimes our listening or viewing audience may not be aware of. I know my mom had some challenges where she was going through some chemo treatments, and sometimes when you do chemo, your hair comes out.
Yep.
And Tina has these secret service hours, y'all. I'm not gonna tell y'all the date, but people who need those hours and who need specific services just to help them feel better when they may not be feeling well in their body. Our unsung hero, Tina Turner, makes time for that. And Big Rob, I've heard about you assisting people when they need jobs and they want to make sure they go in and they look a certain way, even helping with their esteem and feeling proud. Representative Akeo Abdul-Samad came on the show last week and talked about how you've never turned him or anybody that he sent your way away, and that's why he really appreciates you and all the things you do in the community. Right. A couple of barbers were saying you gave them their first chair.
Yep.
So it's super huge what Tina and Big Rob do in our community. So
Shekinah, Big Rob, almost gave me some edges.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Almost gave me some edges.
As y'all see, Rob is not gonna get over this edges thing. He wants these edges so bad.
I just want them laid. I just want them laid. I just want them laid. Rob, I thought you was gonna do my edges. You know what I'm saying?
Bow my head in the word prayer for Rob because I really don't know about them edges. He just want edges. He don't want no middle, no back, no side.
Just the edges. Nothing here. Just some baby hair. There's some baby hair around.
Cut it out.
Around the front.
And we want to get to know better.
Yes.
Big Rob and Miss Tina.
Yes.
So you guys do a lot in the community. You're always working.
Always.
And we want to make sure that our audience gets to know a little bit more about who you are. So let's start with you, Miss Tina.
Ladies first.
Yes, ladies first. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into cosmetology. How you knew that this was a passion of yours.
Well, I would have to say this was a God-given gift that I have, because ever since I was younger, I've always been interested in hair or just beauty in general. And I was always able to look at someone and just be like, man, this will look fantastic on them, or just a little tweak of this could bring this person out. And just how beauty makes people feel has always been a part of me ever since I was younger. So for birthdays and any kind of gathering, they knew exactly what kind of gifts to give Tina. Anything with makeup, hair, nails. It was something that I wanted to do. And I'm originally from Sierra Leone, West Africa.
All right.
And yeah, so even back in Africa, it was all about that for me. And I was very fortunate to know that this was the gift that God had given me at an early age, because a lot of times we do search to see what it is we're brought on earth to do. And it can be a challenge. And so I'm just happy to know that I had that from an early age.
I know that's right.
Yeah. So, Big Rob, if you would mind, can you tell us a little bit about you? I mean, listen, we all know you. You know,
we see that.
Like we all know you. And I almost went to go get my hat out the car, but can you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah. I was born in Fort Dodge. It's a small town outside, about an hour away from Des Moines. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I grew up in Fort Dodge, Iowa. It's about an hour and a half away from Des Moines. I came from a big family of 10. So, in Fort Dodge, we didn't really have a barbershop. So, we did a lot of in-house cutting. So, my dad, where he worked at, when they just brought all these clippers home, and I just started cutting my hair, cutting my brother's hair. So that's where I kind of started at with the clippers. But I'm an artist, so I was able to be creative and be able to use the clippers and do artwork in my brother's hair. So when I graduated, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and just kind of going through that up and down, like working a job here and there. And, I kind of built up a clientele while I was in high school. So, I was making $10 a cut, $5 for kids, 10 for adults. And I had started out, I finished school, then I ended up deciding to go to barber school. And I dropped out of barber school and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And when I went out there, I was working back at that same, job to job and making $7 an hour. And I'm like, why would I be working $7 an hour when I could cut one head an hour for $10 and, pretty much, make pretty good money and start my own career. So I decided to move back to Des Moines and finish up school. And my first job was at Tony Mac's Barbershop. And that's where I, started to, build up my clientele and, build up my name and build my brand. And people was getting to know me for just, being creative with hair art. I was doing faces, pictures of Jesus Christ. So
hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. But the other part came in to where the hair show started popping off, and I was like, I think I could do that, and showcase my skills. So went to Brown Brothers. Well, the first show I did was at Sheila's. I ended up winning that against one of my good friends, James, the barber from Cedar Rapids. That's when I first met him at her show.
So you're talking about Sheila Woods, right?
Sheila Woods.
Yes.
Yep, she put on one of the first hair shows here, and that kind of inspired me to do my shows, but it inspired me to go to other shows and compete and just learn more about the business and the industry. I mean, there's so many different angles behind the chair, from cutting behind the chair, from doing platform work, from educational, teaching classes and all those, even selling products and, a service, how to be a better barber, how you want to retire, how you want to open up more business, or even open up a school, or even open up your own brand of product. I mean, the list goes on. And now this business of what we call the beauty barber industry, you know, last year I think they reported over $532 billion.
Wow.
So when you see me put like all this energy into these shows that I put on, when you think about $500 billion, not million, $500 billion, if I could just tap into that like 1%, I'm good. You feel me? And it's just so many different, you know, angles of, you know, how you could bring dollars in. So what I do is, you know, put on this major hair show that allows people to come in and get educated on all different angles of the business, from retiring, starting your own brand, how to open up a shop, whether it's booth rent, commission, and the list goes on. And but you're also able to like build relationships with some of these barbers that's coming from all around the country.
And I felt like that was really apparent too. I don't know if you felt like that too, but you mentioned earlier, Big Rob, how when you came back here from North Carolina, I think it was, you got your first job in Tony Mac's shop. Shout out to Tony Mac. And I feel like there's not like a sense of competition, even with the stylists. Tina has her shop, and even when you competed last week, there were other stylists who have shops here that were a part of that competition. I know that I've gone to places and I say, oh, I want to get this done, and they're like, oh, well, that person does this well, and this person does this well. And so I really like the camaraderie that we see and how people are working together to get things done. And I felt like Clash of the Clippers was a great example of that, even though like obviously the next person is a competitor, but it's not seen that way. Let's work together so that we all can learn more about this industry, so that we all can tap into some percentage of these 500 plus billions that you got going on. But you both, I'm sorry,
some of the most important thing as far as working together is that you have to understand that every hairstylist and barbers, they have a niche. And so you owe it to your clientele that come into your establishment to actually show them the right, if you don't offer that service, there's this other person that I know for sure can give that service to you. So as a stylist myself, I feel like we owe that to the clients that walk into our doors.
I appreciate that. I've had several conversations with Tina where Tina will tell me, she kind of, don't do that style. And I'm like, no, girl, it'll be fine.
It's going to be just fine.
And then I go and I do the style and I learned that I should not have done it. So I appreciate that.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, Shekinah? So I get my hair cut, and you know, I know a lot of people talking right now. What do you get cut? Can you tell them, Rob? We get stumbles, okay? That need to be cut. So I get my head shaved and my beard lined up at Platinum, right? So shout out to my barber, Dan Bradshaw. You know, so I get my hair cut at Platinum, and then I turn right around, go down the street, and I go to Paparazzi to get my head washed. To get my head washed and my beard scrubbed. And like it works. Like, it works so well. Like, I literally...
Now, the first time you told me that you were at Paparazzi getting your hair washed, I was like, you don't have any hair.
But the reason is because my skin, it breaks out so quickly. And if I don't go to Tina right after I get it shaved, I could literally have patches of bumps. You remember that time, Tina, I came in your shop? My head was like burning from all of those patches. And she literally put me underneath the washer. She used some ointment thing. I think she did something to it. She put some ointment to it. She must have prayed. She must have prayed. You know,
I did.
You know. And so then she literally scrubbed my hair for 5 minutes, came up, put some other stuff on it. The bumps were gone within 24 hours. I came back, Big Rob was like, oh, it worked. You remember that, Rob? Because my head had literally broke out, you know, because I did not follow the routine, you know, and that doesn't happen to everybody, but but my skin.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many products that's coming out to help your skin. Help your skin more, you know, to be more healthier, look healthier. And you just be amazed what's getting ready to change.
Take off in the industry.
Yeah, hit the scene and, you know, change the world on how we do things.
Yeah. Shekinah, you got a couple questions, right?
I do. So you both are business owners.
Yes.
And we want to share with our audience, what are some of the challenges of being a business owner, small business owner, that you all are experiencing in the cosmetology, barbering world? And then what is the most triumphant moment you've had? What is the moment that you are most proud of, that you are like, yes, I did that, or, you know, something like that? We can flip a coin for who goes first.
Okay. I can go ahead and go first.
Right.
One of the biggest things I feel like, and that's in any industry that you're in, is actually a lot of time in a lot of African American homes, we don't have the ability. Yes, we have the talent to do whatever it is we've set forth to do, but it's the background of business. I was 26 years old when I walked into someone's office and just let them know, like, hey, I have this talent. Yes, I'm making money from doing hair, but this is getting bigger than what I am, and I'm needing some help with the financial background of it, how to do money management, how to do my scheduling, and all of that was getting a lot. And so you have to go out there and actually get those services, because they're out there, and there's a lot of free ones that's out there. Even having a relationship with my bank, I never once had that until I turned 26, and it took me, on top of that, 2 years for me to actually know what I'm doing and understand those terms. I took a lot of classes at Evelyn K. Davis Center, business boot camp. Yep, boot camp there, business boot camp, just the terminology, you know, I did not understand. And so you have to know for yourself that, put aside everything else and actually get to knowing businesses, because we have a lot of talent in this community, but a lot of it, some of them fail simply because we have not taken the time to sit down and actually learn about business. And that, like I said, took me 2 years. You know, growing up, I seen my dad come home, give his check to my stepmom, but after that, what happens? What happens when she goes to the bank? What happens when she did her check stubs? What happened with that? I didn't see that. I just knew to work for what you want, and that is it. And that's great that I got that, but I also needed the additional background of that. And like I said, it took me till 26, so it's never too late. To get that aspect. I feel like if we have that and we actually take the time to know about that, we can definitely be successful in any business that we end up doing.
That's a really good point. So having the background, business savvy, understanding what it takes to operate a successful business, and not being afraid to reach out for help. Programs like the Evelyn K. Davis Center.
Yes.
What is it, Small Business Boot Camp?
Yeah, it's the Small Business Boot Camp. They have several different, and I mean, they walk you through the entire, still to this day, I'm 6 strong years in, and I'm still working with them, and they still make sure that you are staying sustained within your business, not when your business getting ready to close, then they step in. No, the entire time, if you allow yourself to be open, they will walk you through. And they will walk you through.
That's what's up. Big Rob, what about you? What challenges you see?
It was something similar like that. When I first started, you know, I used my own money to start up the business. I didn't really know nothing about the business. I just knew how to cut hair. And I'm a visionary, so I knew how to go in there and set up the barber chairs. But the part where I really struggled at was the money that I was making. You know, it was cash money. You know, I didn't have no credit card machine at the time, so all that money was going into my pocket. And you know, when you're dealing with cash every day, it's so easy to spend it.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's one thing I see barbers struggle with today. And you know, we still struggle with it today because it's so easy just to go, you know, buy whatever you want. You know, than rather putting it in that bank and, you know, showing what you're worth. So now, like what I do at the new location, we have all those services with the credit card machine, or you could pay for your service online, but I charge taxes on those services, which, you know,
that's very important.
When you're doing cash, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can, but it's so much easier just to hit the button and your $1.80 is on top of that service. So at the end of the quarter, when you go file your taxes, and you know, at the end of the year, that money is already taken out to whether, you know, when it's time to, when you don't do that, when it's time to pay your taxes, you're coming out of,
you're struggling,
you know, because you're paying like $1,500 to $2,000 quarterly, you know. So that has helped me out now. So I recommend, like, barber stylists, you know, make sure you deposit that money in that account, and balance your money out.
And go to Evelyn K. Davis Center so they can get that set up for you, help you with that.
And there is a lot of help out here. You just gotta want it.
Yeah, yes. Cameron Middlebrooks just commented, who's watching live. Shout out to you, Cam. He said it's called the Master Business Boot Camp.
Thanks, Cam. We just renaming the program.
You know,
Small Business Boot Camp.
Yeah. So shout out to you, President of the NAACP Des Moines branch. Thanks so much for watching. So hey, listen, we'll be right back with Big Rob and Tina. We got to go to a break. We have some more questions that we really want to get into their impact in the community. And we're going to be talking about that, but we got to take a quick break. So please take this time to share this video, share this live, tell your friends and family, no matter where they are in this world, they can be watching live right now. Thank you so much for watching the Urban Impact Show. We'll be right back. I am one of your co-hosts, Rob Johnson.
I am your co-host with edges, Shekinah Young.
We about to get laid. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right.
With edges.
Because Rob wants some edges so bad. And we are back. You are watching the Urban Impact Show. I am one of your co-hosts, Shekinah Young.
And I am the Rob Johnson.
Oh, the Rob Johnson.
With no edges, still. And we got two people who can give me some sitting right here.
Yes.
Being stingy.
Yes.
With theirs. Take your head off, Rob. Let them see your edges.
No, we
see Rob walking around out here with hair. Text, email, ribbon in the sky me, okay? We are putting that on the show. But we are back. This is the Urban Impact Show. We're talking all about how these things that go on within our community, how that's impacting the community, what we can do, taking full advantage so we all can learn, grow, and be our best selves in this space. And Big Rob and Tina were talking to us about their backgrounds, their passions with barbering and cosmetology, where that came from. They talked to us a little bit about challenges of small business, shouted out a couple folks that assisted them in their climb to do and have the greatness that they have now in our community. And now we want to know, what is their most triumphant moment? So what is one thing that has happened so far in your career, within your business, that you have been so proud of that accomplishment, or what has happened? Tell us a little bit about that. Tina?
Okay, so one of the best part about doing what I do is I had a client of mine's. Well, I have two of them, actually. We're going to start with Rob. So Rob, I was working at a shop, and he's like, he gives me a call, and he's like, Tina, and a lot of people don't know about this. It's like, Tina, there's a spot open by the shop. And I'm like, huh? He's like, there's a spot open by my shop on University, right on University. Would you like to see it? It's for rent. And I'm like, okay. You know, doing hair, I just thought I was just gonna do hair. I wasn't even really thinking about opening a business. That wasn't where my mind frame was. But once that came open, I was like, okay, I'll go and check it out. So within that week, I think it was within a couple of days, I reached out, I looked at the space. I'm like, wow, this is like a 300 square foot building space, but I could do this. And that ended up being my first shop ever. Mind you, I wasn't even ready for that at that time, so I thought. But clearly, this other business owner right here, Rob, Presswood seen that in me, and so that's how I started that journey.
Was this the one on the corner?
Business. Yes, the one where the juice bar is now, Lifestyle Juices.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that small spot used to be a salon, and there was 3 of us in there in that small space, and we was making it happen in that place. Yes. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but that's how I initially started my own business, was from getting a phone call from him. And then another thing is, I would never forget, whilst I was in that small business, a client of mine, Miss Carolyn, she gave me a gift. She just came in one day, and we used to have good conversation, deep conversation. You know, I looked at her as a figure that I needed, you know, with my mom being back home and things like that. And so she was like a mom here, you know, and she was just a client of mine. And so she gave me an empty notebook. It was a gift. She wrapped it, but inside of it was an empty notebook. And I never knew the power of writing or anything like that. And she really got me into it. And she just said, write all your thoughts, all your dreams, everything. Write everything. Your hurt, your cries, everything. Write it in there. And that's when I started writing. And to know that my first ever gift that I got from her that was so precious, everything that was written in there came to pass.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
And I mean, when I tell you came to pass to a T, came to pass to a T. And so a lot of times when I talk to people getting into the business, I make sure I tap into that, because that was one of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten in my life. Was just that, because they had such a big impact.
Profound impact.
Yes.
That is so cool. So to me, that speaks to the company you keep. The flock that's around you. That was so great that Big Rob saw something in you that you didn't even see in yourself, and helped you birth the dream. And then Miss Carolyn is her name?
Miss Carol.
Yeah, sowing seeds and writing, and so now you can propel that and move that forward.
Yep, and that is exactly what part of my thing that I try to do is mentor individuals, and it doesn't even have to be in the beauty industry. Yeah, it's in any industry that you are wanting to do, but just really knowing that there is an avenue to get your thoughts together and really look forward to what it is you want to accomplish.
Big Rob, what about you? Triumphant moment. What are you most proud of?
Well, of course, the first day when I opened up my business, that was always a
platinum
proud moment. But really, it's a lot of them. When I bought the building,
yes,
that was big.
That was super big.
You know, being able to own your own building and your business.
Definitely.
Last week, you know, the award that I got was they gave me my own day. I still don't know what that means.
Big Rob Day.
September 15th.
I don't even think you've soaked all that in yet.
You're still working on it. I'm still working on it. I'm still overwhelmed. I'm still kind of tired. But I'm just thankful, grateful. The award that I won in Atlanta at the Brano Brothers was major. That was a proud moment. Just competing against like 60 people on the stage, but not just any 6 people, like
just 60, the best of the best.
Like great barbers around the country. That was big. And I didn't even know I won. And I was just sitting there, and you know, my daughter at that time lived in Atlanta, so my daughter and her mother was there. They got to screaming before me, and I'm like, I'm not screaming. You won. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, I won.
And Brano Brothers is a big stage.
Yeah.
Man, that's huge, man.
It was very huge. Then just, you know, to pull off this show that I did at the Prairie Meadows was big. And, you know, there was a lot of people that helped, you know, to make it happen. But, you know, you really don't know how big it is until you hear the feedback from the people. And you know, my inbox is just blown up, like just from people from around the country that even come to the show. They were like, man, congrats. And the people that ain't never been to a show like that were amazed, like, man, I never knew what a hair show was about. Or, you know, just even Prairie Meadows was kind of like as you know, they kind of, they were shocked. I don't even think they knew how big the production was.
Yes.
Because they wasn't prepared for it. You know, like, where's y'all staff? Like, oh, well, we didn't know. We didn't know it was going to be like this, Rob. You know, but it could have been much better if, you know, we would have had that extra staff. But no, buying the building, open up the shop. We just opened up another shop out in West Des Moines. And I gave it a different look, you know, where
you did.
You come in,
Fancy.
Man, he even has a massage chair.
I heard about this chair.
I went there yesterday.
Okay.
Just to sit in the chair.
Oh.
I think you should start charging.
That's crazy. You say
That's
that
complimentary.
because people say, like, do you charge? I'm like, no, it's free. You know, and we give out free drinks, you know, free wine.
They do.
Free beer.
And what's the address of Platinum Signature?
It's 2600 University Avenue. It's in the Governor Square.
Okay.
Out there next to Clock Tower. So, you know, the old Vision.
Yeah.
People are familiar when you say Vision. I don't know why. But
last week, me and Rob got a chance to experience Clash of the Clippers.
Yes, we did.
And I had a great time. Rob, what did you think about
listen,
last week?
I had such a great time because it really talked about economy, right? It talked about how much money that somebody in where was he from? Columbus, Ohio, was pouring into Columbus, right? So, and like this is why I love this show, and this is why I really want you all to share this and talk about this and have discussions about this, is because we don't know what that barber in Columbus was doing until we had him on this show, right?
Yeah.
We know LeBron James. We know what Snoop is doing with the football teams, right? Like, we know what they're doing, but we don't get an opportunity to talk about, you know, the 100 of haircuts that Rob does, and that Tina and Rob sweated out at the back to school bash every year in August in the basement of the Grub YMCA, right? Like we don't really get that opportunity. And then, like, just looking at how Big Rob and Tina inspire our young people. That's what I really liked about the Clash of the Clippers.
Right.
There was so many young people there, right? Whether they were a part of the show, whether they were just onlookers, there was so many
even
young
business owners. There were lots of young business owners.
Yes, right. Just like old girl, what's her name, Janessa, who does the eyelashes. I was telling her I needed some more eyelashes.
Rob want lashes, brows, edges.
Hey, don't y'all put that out there, because folks gonna be like, Rob, look, no, but you know, it's just. I just love how these two are really affecting and impacting just the economy, right? Like look, like the business of this is more than just doing hair,
Right. Yeah.
Right. We're talking about how this dollar and Rob and Tina both are employing people, right, giving people jobs,
right,
and then on top of giving people jobs, they're making others feel good, look good. And I don't know, Shekinah, I'm really excited about once you really start breaking it down and start peeling the layers back,
right,
you really start to see the impact that somebody who would say, oh, he's just a barber. No, he's not just a barber. And she just doesn't do hair. As a matter of fact, they're changing a community one hairstyle at a time. Listen,
you said the key word.
We buying the block back.
You said the key word, Rob. If you look good, you feel good.
Yes.
So when those kids look a certain way, their attitude is completely different in school, or on their way to school. They'd rather going to school not looking.
It's an automatic yes, I can.
Yes.
When you have that presentation right in front of you.
You know, I think this brings us to the point that I've been trying to get to.
Go ahead,
the entire show, right? I saw this video, and let me tell y'all, it enraged me. Like I was ready to lead a march, Shekinah. Let me tell you, I was so.
March in a minute.
I would. I will. You know, don't look. Y'all can meet me at the Capitol. You know, we'll be down there. But I watched this video, and it just really made me upset to see how we treat people. And to see that a stylist, a business owner, she stepped in when this video went viral to help this woman out.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, do we have that video? Here, let's hit it.
Let's hit it. So what we're seeing is a Jamaican sister here in the United States who is being bullied,
That's crazy.
assaulted, and it's continuous, right? There are lots of people on this bus, and people are onlooking, people are laughing, people are grabbing her hat on a regular basis.
On a regular basis. And the reason I bring this up is because it really feeds into. Will you show the transformation piece real quick? Shout out to our engineers.
What is that stylist out of? Yeah,
we got a whole team. Got a whole team. So look at her now.
Come through, girl.
Yeah.
Right? Like a stylist.
And even her
Brilliant.
disposition.
Look at
She's
that.
smiling, you know.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like they don't just do hair.
Right.
You know, bless you.
Thank you.
They don't just do hair.
Right.
Rob and Tina, like that is crazy to me that somebody would do that to somebody, but a stylist stepped in, a business owner stepped in and said, you know what? Let's change it.
And there were obviously some challenges that were beyond her
Yes.
at that time, right? She had alopecia.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yes, that's how you say that.
So let's talk about this for a second, because mental health is so important in the black community.
Yeah.
And Rob, one of the barbers came on last week and he said, I lost my shop. I lost everything, and Big Rob was the very first one to give me a chair at his shop. He said, I came to Des Moines with nothing, and he said, and Big Rob was like, come on, you can have. And I said to him, I said, you were probably depressed because you had lost something that you felt so dear to you. You were probably really under some heavy mental anguish, but yet the barbershop is what saved your life. Is what kept you from going over the edge. Let's talk about that a little bit, if y'all don't mind. And we can. I want you two to kind of address, like, how do you feel that you yourself are impacting mental health with what you're doing?
I think we're all dealing with it. We just don't talk about it. And in the black community, that's something that's real big. That's been real big since day one. Like we don't talk about it enough. And even me being a barber, you know, at the end of the day, who's talking to Rob? You know what I mean? We so busy talking to everybody else, and we forget about ourselves. You know, like you gotta think about it. Like you sometimes work 7 days a week. I don't do that no more, but you know, when you work in those long hours, you don't have no time to yourself. And you know, it's just, you know, you get up. You know, you take care of your family the best you can, but you know, most of our time is spent in the shop. You know, we're the counselors when we're, you know, cutting that person's hair and listen to them. You know, because a lot of times when you come to the barbershop, you know, it used to be the Black Men's Country Club, but now that we're, you know, transitioning into more of the business, you know, things have changed. But back in the day, it was always a place to come to and socialize. And it's still like that. You come up there and socialize and listen to us talk. But who's talking to the barbers? You know what I mean? Who's talking to them at the end of the day?
And I think that's why I go up there, Rob, because to hear your heart. You know, because you take on.
You take on a lot.
You do. Like,
you take on a lot.
You know, I really can't talk. I know when I come sit in your chair, you scrub my hair, we talk.
Yeah.
But, like, I sit at the shop, you know, after I've got my head shaved. Right. I sit at the shop. And I just listen to everybody talk about their issues and their problems. And the barber at that time becomes a counselor.
And we are a counselor a lot of times, but you have to, a lot of times they have to understand that we hear so much. It is very important as a stylist to be any aspect of business that you're in. When a client, a customer, a consumer comes to you and they actually share their deepest thoughts. I mean, any day we have people crying in our seats and all that.
Wow.
But you have to give your client the respect not to share that. And I think that sometimes that happens, but you cannot share that, because at that time that person is vulnerable, and they're sharing that with you because they feel comfortable because you're in their intimate area.
Right.
And as a stylist, barber, anything like that, you have to make sure you give your client that respect not to share it, but give them honest thoughts, or even just listen to what it is that they're saying, because mental health is really big out here.
Right.
I mean, and it's serious. And for that to happen to the young lady that's there is unacceptable at any point. It's not acceptable at any point, because there is a reason why she is going through what she is going. You never know what can happen in your lifetime when you would need someone to assist you, depending on whatever it is you have going on. So,
you know what?
Like,
the conversation we had in your shop. What's your friend's name?
I'm sorry, what?
Your friend's name, the young lady that we had this really great conversation where we were talking about just being black in America and politics.
Yes. That was one of my clients. Yes.
Yes. So we got to get her on this show too.
Yes, she would be a great person to get on the show.
Yeah, we got to get her on this show too, because talks like that wouldn't have happened had we not been in the shop.
Yes, and it was pertaining to black men not getting the recognition that they deserve.
Yes,
that was a really good topic.
That's exactly what we were talking about. Man, like, just at that moment, you were no longer a person that just did hair, right? Like, look at how important of an impact that these shops, and the fact that you two are owners. Children, Rob, I gotta share this with you. We were at the Juvenile Detention Center today, where one of your barbers came and talked about how he survived going to prison, and talked about his story. And they asked him, they said, "Where do you cut hair at?" He said, "Platinum." And all of the kids in there lit up. And they said, "Oh, Big Rob." So I said to them, I'm going to get Big Rob to come so he can come talk to y'all, because they were like, "Oh, yeah, Big Rob." Tina came. Tina came and she talked to the youth at the Juvenile Detention Center, and she talked about being a part of paparazzi, and they was like, "Oh yeah, paparazzi." Right. Like look at the
they really
impact.
Look up to that.
Yes, look at the impact. So one of those kids, one of those young women, one of those young men could come out and they could say, "You know what? I don't want to keep going down this road. I want to change," because they, even though you may not have gone their route, they're ready to go your route.
Yeah.
Man.
That's true.
And it's crazy when I just sat back and just look to see what's going on. Like, even like the new program that we're doing at the Roosevelt. Me and Anthony Knowles from Tony Mack and Clippernomics. I mean, there's so much going on. Like sometimes I just gotta step back and just like, whoa, And I just try to stay humble, and I don't know. Some people be like, "Why aren't you happy?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like this last month has been like crazy. And I think it's just life.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with life, there's other things that's going on, and that mental health. Like, I think it's like really serious. Like, because my whole life, we was separated from our moms, house to house. So, like, now that I get this age, all this stuff is kind of coming out, and I didn't really know what it meant until I talked to my sister, and she was like, we got to get counseling, and because you hold that stuff in, and being black, we try to stay strong, and we don't need nobody to talk to or be cool, but we do, we do, and that's what I was saying, like, who's talking to me, what I mean? And I still don't go get the help because I'm like, man, I got to get over that feeling like
you do, Rob.
Corny,
you do, Rob.
Our black man, we so warrior type, like we're warriors, and kings, and we just don't feel
Rob, like we can go together.
Yeah, and that's what Chavez was talking about. We had a big conversation on the phone, and man, our older brothers, we need that. We need to reach out and get help, because if you don't, it'll just affect you in so many different other ways.
Eat you up,
Eat you up.
And it takes
and we
one another.
Yeah, we hide so much pain, when you see your siblings go through things, and your mother and your father go through things, you get through it, but it'll affect you later on down life if you don't go get help. And, that's something that our black people never did, is go get help.
I'm getting a little bit emotional because my mother came into your shop. And I'll never forget the conversation she had in the middle of the barbershop with everybody, right? And she just left a lasting impression on that shop.
She had that big mama film.
Oh my God. When she came in, folks started straightening up.
You think Rob loud. I didn't realize how loud Rob was until I went to church one day. And I was sitting in the back. And I was like, okay, Rob. I hear you, brother. I'm right in the back, but right here. And then I was, I woke up and I was looking on social media, and we was at the Democrat event downtown,
Polk County,
and I was like, this brother's loud. This brother is loud.
Oh,
but that's what makes you great.
I appreciate that.
And it's it's an honor to be a friend too, man. This brother's so real, man. Y'all don't even know how real he is, man. He has done a lot of great things, and under the cover, like, don't nobody even know he's doing these great things. And that's what makes you great, because you don't gotta put it out there to let everybody know what you're doing. How many people you're helping. And it's one thing to post something and say, hey, I did this and I did that, but you're nothing like that.
One thing I can truly say about this row of people sitting here is, y'all don't know this, but Shekinah stopped a young lady from taking her own life right before the back to school bash. Right?
That's
right?
deep.
Right? Like, and nobody would have never even known that. Right? Like, y'all, like, look at what's happening in our community, right? I see Tina do everything she can to help somebody. If I could call Tina in the middle of the day and say, hey, I need this, she gonna figure out a way, even if it's picking up her one kid, running to go do this for you, and then going to get her other child. Right?
I'm on my way home. The light's still on. I'm like, hey, girl, you don't stop working. And just like Big Rob, I've been there in the room when he's done stuff for other people. Right. I've seen it. Right. Nobody knows those conversations.
Right. And those are the special times.
They are. They are. Times. Me and Big Rob, I like to eat, so I force him to go to Famous Days with me sometimes. And yes, I say force. I force him to go to Famous Days with me. But like, we sit there and we just have good conversation. Right. We just, like, that's it. And I think what Rob was trying to say is, as barbers and as stylists, find somebody that you can talk to.
Right.
Yes.
Because what you're going through, you're not alone. Right. You are not by yourself.
You called me about a couple months ago, Rob. You all right? You okay?
That's right, because you was on my heart.
I just want to, reach out to you to make sure you're. I said, man, I appreciate that.
That's true. Yep.
And me and Rodney done a couple things together. We do the little giveaway turkey. And you know what? It's fun.
It's so much fun.
And it's not even about it's just about the love. You know what I mean? Just doing it because you can help somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be. Like, we don't need no awards or nothing like that. It's about helping the person that ain't got it going on.
Right.
And about a week ago, I passed up on get off on the exit on the freeway, and the person there with the sign, I just threw him $1 because we spend money every day. Is it going to hurt for you to give that person $1? It's not for us to judge that person, or what are you going to do with it, or is he hustling me? You know, how can you call yourself a person of God if you ain't willing to give? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a sermon. Another day.
That is a sermon.
It is. Message. Well, we got to take a break.
Yes. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. We're going to get into the economic piece of this, talk more about what Big Rob and some of the guys from Tony Mac's shop is doing up at Roosevelt with the youth, teaching them a skill set that can surpass any recession. You do not want to miss this. I am your co-host with Edges, Shekinah Young, and
I'm Rob Johnson with no edges.
and you are watching The Urban Impact Show. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
We are back.
Yes.
We are back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Urban Impact Show. Let me tell y'all, that last segment got a little deep. I am one of your co-hosts, Rob Johnson.
I'm Shekinah Young.
And you are tuned into the Urban Impact Show. We have two special guests with us. We have two prolific artists. I don't like just putting them in boxes of stylist or barber, but just artists, because they're business owners, they're life changers, and there's so much more than just those titles of that surrounds the hair. And so I know we're going to jump into that because we got Big Rob from Platinum Cuts, and we got Miss Tina Turner from Paparazzi Hair Studio, and I use both of their services for my edges. And so so Shekinah, we want to jump into economics,
right?
And Big Rob, you have a program over at Roosevelt that's going now Shekinah talks about trying to stop this what's the word that you use?
Preventing revolving doors of poverty.
Yes. And so that's one of she talks about this all the time.
Seriously.
She's like, that's her passion.
Yeah.
And so to hear that you all have an opportunity to teach young men or young women skills that will keep them out of that door, then that's huge. Can we talk about what you all are doing and tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Miss Hannon, she's a teacher over at Roosevelt, so she kind of put the program together and reached out to Tony Mac and reached out to me, so we all came together. Now we have another young brother named Lance that's helping with the program. So I think we're going to be reaching out to more barbers, to pitch in. But I just, honored that to be a part of this program, to be able to help the young brothers and lead them in the right direction. So
do you guys talk about the craft of barbering, or do you guys go into it's going
to be a little bit of both.
Okay.
So, and I haven't really got all full details, so just because, I've been working on this project all year long, Clash of the Clippers, that's taken up a lot of my time, so I'll be getting more info on the school here shortly.
What excites me most about that program is that you are teaching a skill that can live through any recession, any administration. Everybody, you're going to need your hair serviced in some way.
Yes.
And then if we are teaching our youth this skill in high school, they can start cutting at that age.
Yes.
They can start braiding at that age, thanks to some legislation in 2016. Shout out to all the people in the House and the Senate made that possible in the state of Iowa.
Yes.
But this teaches them this skill to help line their pockets. Lack of resources is it's like a igniter for some of the issues that go on in the community today. And so if we're providing those resources, that's a solution. And the fact that you guys are active in the schools, giving these solutions to the youth at this age, helping them gain income at a young age, that they can take this skill anywhere. They could be a doctor, a lawyer, and still cut hair. Yep. No matter what they do, this can be a side hustle, or this can be them building a business to help buy another establishment on the block next to your establishment and help feed this dream of buying the block back. I think that is monumental. It has rippling effects. When Tony Mack mentioned that on the show, I was like, oh, you're starting a barber school and you're doing like an apprenticeship program. And he was like, oh yeah, I guess you can say it's an apprenticeship program. Definitely is. That is super cool. I think that's the way to go. And then you want to find, as a beautician or a barber, you want to find what it is you can do in the community, because you have to remember you're working for the community. At the end of the day, you need the people within your community to come to your establishment to get service. So you have to remember that. You have to know how you can then turn that around and be able to service the community in a volunteer way. Me having Groomed for Success, which is something that I'm working in, because I do hair and things, but my passion is also community service. And so with the two of them mixed together, I was put on earth to do community service in the field that I'm doing. And so Groomed for Success is definitely going to be something where I'm working on it now, where individuals, whether you're coming out of prison, whether you're going through counseling, you're looking for a job or anything like that, just like how you have Dress for Success, we'll also have Groomed for Success. And Groomed for Success will then cater to whether you need a haircut, hairstyling, you need your nails manicure, you need just a massage or anything like that, to get you into that workplace where you're going and really be comfortable and knowing that you can do the job that you're wanting to do, and we'll be with you the entire time. So you do have to figure out how you can work with your community and service your community without getting paid, and doing a volunteer work. That way you can be blessed on top of blessings to go do what it is you want to do.
Somebody said the other day, Big Rob, they said if the hood was so poor, why do other cultures come and open up businesses there?
Right within
liquor stores, other establishments. If it's so poor, why are other people? If it was that poor, they would be leaving, right? Nobody goes into business to not make money. So if they're opening up a store there, that means that there's an opportunity there, right? So somebody said the hood isn't poor, you just have poor spending habits. And so what you're teaching them is something beyond just what they're doing right now, but like she kind of said, it can survive, and we may have even missed it, any administration.
Because through the last recession that we had, the barbershops and beauty salons, they still did very well. Because through recession, yes, you're stressed, you're depressed and things like that, but beauty is what's going to make you like, okay, I could do this. Okay, let me go get a haircut, a line, or anything like that. We still did good because it's more of it's an entertainment. We're part of that. Throughout recession, those set of people still managed to make it through every recession. Because you're always going to need that to feel better.
So I know we're coming up on time. So I would say, just real quick, 2 minutes, starting with you, Tina. Final thoughts to a young lady, a young man that may be struggling right now and thinking to themselves, how, like, they made it, how can I make it too?
Reach out to people within your community. Do not hold yourself and be like, oh, I can't, or oh, or anything. Don't make any excuse. Reach out to people. There's a lot of free services out here, you guys. I mean, talk to it doesn't even have to be a business owner, your mom, dad, cousin, whoever. Talk to just people and just see what it is you can do to improve yourself. That's very important. Don't shy away from that. Look to other business owners for the business that you're doing that's like your business that you're wanting to do, and don't keep yourself from people saying you can't, or this stylist or this barber won't give you the the tools that you need. Don't listen to none of that. I need you to just stay focused to what it is that you're trying to do and go for it, because I know you can do it.
Big Rob?
Put God first. Put God first, because when you put God first, He makes it happen. That's been my number one resource. It might not happen overnight, but we already know nothing happen overnight. You got to be patient with life.
It's a big thing.
Being patient with life will get you far. It might take a year. It might take 2, it might take 3. But you just got to be patient with life and put God first, and be patient and love one another.
And don't be nervous about it, about being 26 and going in and not knowing anything about banking or anything like that. You can be. I was 26 myself.
Have faith.
So yeah.
But I want to say something. For you two. Y'all two are special too, because I didn't see y'all did some amazing things, like you went over
back
to Haiti,
to school bash.
I think I reached out to you on that about even next time you go, I will go over there and cut those kids' hair for free. And I think that'll be awesome for them to have somebody with the skills level that we have over here. To go over there and just give them that.
Just give them some love.
And you too, Rob. Like, I didn't see you rip these streets up and down every day, every week, every year. You know what I'm saying? Just spreading love. Like, your laugh. Do that laugh one time.
No.
Do it. Do that laugh. Look at him.
I can't help it.
It's like off the Simpsons.
It's real out here. We had a situation the other day where Brother Rob was like, look, we don't need the police. We need to start standing up as black men and raising our own kids in our own community. We told the officer, he told the officer, we got this. I got this under control. And that's what we need. We need more of that. So when y'all looking at this group of people up here, we are about our community. We put back into our community. My first house that I bought was in my community. And I took it from a rat hole to re-transition.
You did.
Just making the neighborhood look good.
People don't know, Rob. I show up at your house sometimes without calling and not going your door.
You can do that. I'm gonna tell you something back.
Rob and Tina both need to do a gumbo.
We did a gumbo.
I'm saying.
We did that.
we did that for Deidre.
We're not talking about Deidre. We talking about Rob and Shekinah, the Urban Impact
you want
Show.
us to make
The Urban Impact Show.
Y'all need to try my award-winning jerk fish.
I heard about that.
Let's do it. Come through.
When are we gonna have it?
Love some jerk.
You know what?
Father's cookout.
The Father's cookout.
My brother from New Orleans just came up here the other day, and I bought about 5 pounds of catfish. It's strictly different when you get the fish from down south. It's way better.
I feel the Holy Spirit moving.
They not right.
I feel the Holy Spirit moving.
I want to be blessed. I'm not playing with Robert James Johnson today. He tells us he feel the Holy Spirit. We have had such a great time today talking to Tina and Big Rob about the industry of barbering, cosmetology, how that is impacting our lives on a regular basis, from mental health things, from economic standpoint with legislation and hair braiding. And how they are making true impacts in the lives of other people, how they have seen other people beyond where they saw themselves and inspired them to do more, and how people have looked into their lives and done the same thing for them. So our challenge to our viewers is for you to do the same thing. We want to make sure we are continuing to impact our community. If you see some kids outside and they may be having a disagreement or some challenges, you as the adult who have been in situations like that before, you pull over, spread some knowledge, help them know this is not the way to handle this. Let me help you figure this out. Or if you see somebody else, sometimes you don't even know that there's a struggle, right? If you see something greater in somebody, say that. Help inspire them or help them see that. If you hear of a friend talking about some challenges they have and they're thinking about going to therapy, but they're kind of like, I don't really know, push that friend. Give that friend a deadline. You never know. That may be helpful, right? We need to make sure that if we talk about being about community, we live that.
Yes.
Right.
And if we're going to live that, we have to be about that every day. So This is the Urban Impact Show. I'm your co-host with Edges, Shekinah.
I'm the one that will soon have edges. Rob Johnson.
God bless it.
God bless him.
And you can watch on Urban City Magazine. Shout out to them. And we are going to have more shows coming up every Sunday, right, Rob?
Every Sunday, we need sponsorships. So if your business would like to sponsor one of our breaks, we can build those in. Please, if you would like more information, please contact
urban515mag@gmail.com.
Yes.
urban515mag@gmail.com.
Yes, please. We need sponsorships. Help us help you. As you know, we definitely want to make sure that we continue to bring this show to you. You watching the Urban Impact Show. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Guys.
Bye.